So, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for my third interview, and I'm really looking forward to this. As you can see Gayle next to me, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And so first of all, I'm going to introduce this lovely lady that I met a couple of years ago, and we'll get into that, how we met. But hello, Gayle.
Hi, Jason. It's great to be with you today. That's a bit too much of a build-up, but we'll see how it goes.
You know, I just think everybody's so special, and everybody's got such a story through running, through Christianity, and you know what I mean. And it's just great, I think, just to share, just for half an hour or so, to get to know people. So hopefully, in this next half an hour, we'll get to know a little bit about you, and I know very little bit, you know what I mean. But we'll probably get to know a little bit more. But obviously, it's Christian runners. So we'll start a little bit with the running side. And first of all, when did you start running?
I started running, it must be over 10 years ago now, but it was with a group of friends. We started running when we decided we were going to do the relay marathon.
All right.
And it was Belfast Marathon. And there was a 5-stage relay. So there was 10 of us who decided we would enter 2 teams. And most of us started from scratch, but we had a great time. We did a lot more talking about running and planning our running than we did running. But we did eventually get into the training, and the 2 groups of us finished the relay marathon, and absolutely had a ball. But through that, some of us went on then to start entering 5Ks and 10Ks and various different things. We kind of got the bug, but the group of 10 dwindled as the time went on. So 10 of us did the relay, and then numbers dwindled and we entered other things. But from that point onwards, really, I have from going from pretty much zero and starting from a more or less couch to 5K point of view, I've kind of kept at it ever since, and I've become a bit of a bore about it. Quite happy to nag people to start, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, sometimes it's just that something to get you going, isn't it? You know what I mean? I coach running a lot of the junior section, and I'm always trying to get the parents involved, because I just know eventually a lot of them will really want to get involved, and that's how a lot of our coaches have started, is from their children. And some of their children don't run anymore, but the parents
still do.
So we get to you somehow, don't we? So what would you say is your preferred distance? Because obviously you might have heard, we've had some ultra runners, we've had people that do crazy stuff. But what do you prefer?
I did listen to your earlier interviews, Jason, and was suitably intimidated. I thought I am the perfect antidote to the 2 people you've just had on, because they were fast runners and pretty elite. But no, I absolutely love a sort of 5K, 10K, really enjoy those. And I've loved the park runs and that sort of thing. I just love that, because you can just go and churn out a 5K or a 10K pretty much any time. A few times I've trained for a half marathon. I've enjoyed that. Actually, have done the London 10 mile a couple of times in Richmond Park, which was a lovely distance. Just a wee bit shorter than a half. But yes, a half marathon is effort for me. So I've done a few of those. And once with my running buddy that I started all this with, once we did a marathon. We reckoned there was 1 marathon in us. But yes, that was big effort. So that's not a preferred distance, but very glad to have done it once.
Yeah, I think it's sort of always a bucket list, isn't it? A tick for a lot of runners is to do the marathon. I always said I'd do 1 marathon and that'd be it. And I ended up, I've done 20 marathons altogether.
Well, the same thing didn't happen to me. I did one and I stayed very happy to have done one.
But every time I've done a marathon, if I always remember what I think over the last few miles, and especially when I finish, is like, I'm never going to do that again. And you give it a few days and you book for the following year. So it's, but I did get to 20 and decide, that's it, I've had enough for that.
Is that it now?
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I think the last few miles of our marathon were the happiest. Yeah. People said once you get to mile 20, it's a bit tough. But once I saw the number 2, I thought, right, I'm home. Just enjoy the rest of the party.
Unfortunately, I'm always a runner. I'm always wanting to try to beat the times and do that a little bit better. Apart from, I've done a couple of crazy things for world records, which obviously have taken a little bit longer doing them, but that's a total different story. We'll get on to that.
Wow, that's a story we need to hear.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about that one day.
Now, when you're talking about times, we always used to say that our aim, for the half marathons or whatever, people were asking what time you were going for.
Yeah.
And we always said we were aiming to get to the finish line before the man had gone home for his tea. That was the aim. So to get to the finish line while the race was still open was sort of the aim. Times didn't matter too much.
Absolutely. And I always say, I mean, obviously we have fast runners, we've got people that are slow. There's everything in between. And the thing is, if it's a 5K, we've all done the same distance. If it's a marathon, we've all done the same distance. So we're all runners. Some might get there that little bit quicker and have the Sunday dinners and the bath and the massages while we're still out there. But the thing
some of us have more time to enjoy it, get more chance to enjoy the run.
Absolutely. So it's lovely to hear about your running thing and everything, but I'm just going to get on a little bit about, obviously I've met you before, so obviously a lot of people on here will have never seen you, never heard you, no idea who you are, but I did meet you a couple of years ago. But do you want to tell people how that happened?
Right. Well, I have the great privilege of working for a charity in Leeds called Caring for Life. And it's a Christian charity that was set up actually next weekend will be our 34th birthday, set up over 30 years ago by Peter Parkinson, who was a pastor in Leeds, and Esther Smith, a social worker. And they really set that up those years ago to address the issue of youth homelessness. They could see young people who were in terrible situations, who'd come out of the care system, and really they were really challenged by the need to share Jesus' love in really practical as well as spiritual ways with these young people. So initially they started housing homeless young men who were in a lot of trouble. And over the last 34 years, God has massively grown the work and in amazing ways. So we now are situated on a beautiful farm on the north side of Leeds. And I work as pastoral director there, which is just looking after the sort of different areas where we have people in our care. We've folks who come to the farm in normal times in a non-COVID world. We have folks who come to the farm every day of the week and are involved in all the activities of farm life with horses and with the cattle and sheep and with woodwork and loads of different things. We've 2 supported living homes in the community, and then we have a team who go out across the city of Leeds supporting vulnerable adults and families. So there's lots going on at Caring for Life. And a couple of years ago on our beautiful site, which is really, we're slightly biased, but it's really gorgeous, a beautiful conservation area and valley and farmland. We just thought it would be the perfect spot for a 5K. And we thought that without any clue how to run it or any expertise in this area at all. But then Jason showed up, and we had a wonderful event actually in the most beautiful May evening, where we had a hog roast 5K. So you ran around the farm, and then rather than get a medal at the end, we got a hog roast. So I think that was quite an incentive.
I think a lot of people just did it for that. I think it was like, forget medals, forget the trophies, let's have some food. You know what I mean? That's fellowship, isn't it? Food.
A hog roast on a summer's evening, it was hard to beat after a 5K run.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? It was, you know what I mean? For the viewers out there, you know what I mean? I've always wanted to set something up on behalf of Christian runners as a run, and to be part of Caring for Life, to raise money for Caring for Life, and being on the farm and the surroundings. It was magical, and it was such a lovely evening. And I've got to say, though, for everybody that sees, I think our profile picture, there's a picture of lots of Christian runners. And I was going to say, why, Gayle, were you dressed in that costume?
Because it was the hog roast 5K. So I thought the least I could do was run with a pig costume.
Absolutely. You know, my
although I didn't.
Go on.
I was going to say, I didn't run the 5K in the pig costume. I did run the children's 1K in the pig costume. But then I didn't run the full 5K in it. I thought that might make my time even worse.
I've got to say, my daughter always says to me, "So, Dad, I did the fun run and I won it." She says, "Where did you come, Dad?" So she always rubs it in, you know what I mean, that I didn't win. So, but it was a lovely.
There's always time.
And hopefully after COVID, we'll get back and let's organise another one up there and raise some more money for Caring for Life. But I'm going to put a link on, obviously, to Caring for Life, so all our viewers can look at it. And I was talking to somebody, another Christian runner, who actually was saying that their church gave a gift every month or whatever to Caring for Life. Then he moved down south and he found out his church down there gave money to Caring for Life. So
brilliant.
So it's all over the country. I'm sure people are helping.
Yeah, and it's actually amazing. I mean, we don't have any contract funding. We are entirely funded by Christian giving, with some grant making trusts, but almost entirely Christian giving. And it is wonderful to be able to give practical help and be able to say to people that this is totally free to anybody who needs it. And we're here because we want to share Jesus' love. And it's such a witness actually to be able to say that, yes, this is sustained by giving. It's amazing what God provides through his people for what we do.
And, I know a few years ago, we had somebody from your place came to our church and told our congregation a lot about what you do. So that inspired a lot, and especially a lot now do come to the coffee shop because of
that. Good. I can recommend the coffee shop, and hopefully in a post-COVID world, the restaurants, the breakfast.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. People out there, if you want to come to Leeds, go to Caring for Life. The restaurant, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm not plugging it to go, but it's brilliant, absolutely lovely building.
It's lovely.
Fantastic job.
We've been very blessed. We have a lovely restaurant in an old converted barn, which is beautiful, and it all supports the charity. But actually, even at the minute, we're very blessed that the farm shop is still able to be open. The nursery is able to be open, and we've the little coffee shop on a takeaway basis. So we're blessed that some of our social enterprises are still open, even at the moment. And they're being well supported, which is wonderful.
And what else is there on the farm? Do you want to tell anybody else sort of what else? I know there's a few other little things.
Do you mean in terms of the projects that we look after people on?
Yeah, and you've got like
there's like kind of two parts to the farm.
Yes.
Sorry, the delay's kicking in there.
That's all right. Yeah, we've got a few little bugs, but you've got like a garden centre, haven't you? And then there's a few animals and things like that. Yeah,
there's kind of really two sides to the farm. There's a lot of it that is open to the public, which is our beautiful garden nurseries. We have the little coffee shop, the restaurant in normal times, and the farm shop, along with a gorgeous sensory garden walk down the valley, which is all open to the public, the conservation area. So a lot of people come, make it a destination, do a bit of shopping in the garden centre and the shop, and get their coffees and go for their walk and all of that. That's beautiful that we can have that open to the public. Then there's another part of the farm which is entirely the care side, which is where we would have all our beneficiaries in normal times who come through the week for the daytime projects. So we have our own refectory up there where everyone eats lunch and breakfast, and we have horses, cattle, sheep, chickens. We have a woodwork place, we have a car mechanics, art, drama, music, design and media where they do computers, and and horticulture and conservation. I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to forget somebody, but we've lots and lots of projects going on at the farm where folks can be engaged in just part of the team, engaged in really good activities, and through that we can share Jesus' love with them. So there's folks who live in a residential homes, folks who are supported in their own homes, and then lots who come to the farm. So we're very blessed with what we have there.
That's brilliant. Amazing.
It's lovely to be able to share it with folks.
I get your newsletter. I know people could get your newsletter, and it's just great, everything that goes on. And obviously there's so much goes on, and what a privilege to work there. But I was just going to, for our viewers, obviously you're not from Yorkshire, are you? You definitely haven't got a Yorkshire accent. So where sort of were you born?
I'm holding out against the Yorkshire accent. It's quite strong. I'm bound to be picking up bits of it. But yeah, I'm from Northern Ireland. Fairly obviously.
Yeah.
Originally from west of the province, in County.
Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, in County Tyrone, and then more recent times close to Belfast. So my accent's probably an amalgamation of those and then watered down by the years in England. Although I do, in a non-COVID world, I do get home regularly for a top up.
Yeah.
The accent gets strengthened regularly.
I've heard it. I think you mentioned to me that one of the you think one of the best park runs in the world is from your part of the world. Is that right?
No, I know, Jason, I know for sure. Yeah, the we were talking about park runs, and so many of them are absolutely beautiful. But yeah, the undisputed best park run in the world has to be Portrush Park Run. It's on the north coast of Northern Ireland, absolutely gorgeous spot, and the entire run is on the beach.
Oh,
so depending on the tide, your time can change by about 5 minutes from one week to the next. But it is an absolutely beautiful place, and it's an out and back route. Yeah. So you're running 2.5 km down the beach and turning back. Absolutely gorgeous. And then you can just, have a little dip afterwards when you're finished. Oh, perfect.
Well, whenever I'm over there, I'm definitely going to look at that one up and have a go. But being like an event director, I've got to say my park run is the best. You know what I mean? Rothwell in Leeds. And you actually done that one, haven't you? You came with a couple of friends, if I can remember.
I haven't done that one. That was a couple of colleagues who did. You came and did that one, so I'm afraid that's still on my list to do.
All right, super duper. And I've heard you've done the ultimate bushy park run. And tell me about that. What's it like? Because I've never done it. I need to do it. Tell me, is it a good one?
Have you not done it?
No.
It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I've done Bushy a number of times, and Richmond as well, just near it, which is also absolutely beautiful park run. But yeah, the Bushy one is amazing in its organisation, because it is big numbers. I think there were like between 1,500 and 2,000 the times I was there, and I've done it a couple of times around. It's either Christmas or New Year. I think it was the New Year one, which was particularly big. But it's a beautiful park run. It's really quite flat as well. But to be running there and, see the deer, absolutely gorgeous. And then at the finish line, the levels of organisation are amazing. The funnel is amazing. And you do get processed quite quickly. So yeah, the original, and is it still the biggest? I think it's still the biggest, is it?
I think it is. I think it's still the biggest in the UK. I just hope ours doesn't get that big, because we've no chance. We get about, before lockdown, we were getting about 350, 400 runners every Saturday. And
still good numbers.
Yeah, it's a good number. We've got it's like a 2.5 lap course. So people start lapping people, which is okay. But occasionally a few people forget how many laps they've done, and then they come in back to do a faster time.
Try to finish. Yeah.
All right, lovely. So obviously we've talked a lot about running, and obviously running is part of our lives, isn't it? But obviously we're Christians, and obviously God and Jesus plays a massive part in our lives too. So how did you start sort of church-wise? Have you been brought up in a Christian family, or did you just find it?
Yeah, well, I was a teenager when I became a Christian. I was brought up in a family where there was a lot of respect for God, and where the gospel would have been known. And I was going along at different points to kids clubs and youth clubs, and I had an aunt, a very dear aunt, who was a Christian. So my family was very positive about Christian things, but nothing was, I wasn't sort of forced to go down any route. But I do remember growing up understanding that there was a God who loved me, but also understanding that I wasn't right before him, and that actually Jesus had come to die because I needed a savior, and I needed to be made right with God. So that was a sort of I remember growing up understanding that, in a childlike way, and then as I got older. But I can remember having conversations as teenagers do about life, the universe, and everything. And people were saying, "Oh, I don't know what to believe," and I remember saying very clearly, "Well, I do know what to believe. This is actually the truth."
Yeah.
But I've never done anything about hitting me with that at that point. Like, if you know that there's a God who loves you, and you know that there's a savior who died for you, and you're just ignoring that fact, it was like, so at that time I was 15 years of age, and it was very clear to me that God was saying, right, one day you'll stand before me and I'll ask you, why have you not responded to my love? So at that stage, I asked the Lord to save me, and I was very clear that life was just different, that it wasn't flashing lights and dramatic change, but just I knew that God was with me, and really began to want to live for him, which as a teenager had its moments. I think I was a bit of an annoying Christian when I came to know the Lord. I just couldn't believe that everybody else didn't want to hear about it repeatedly. But my friends were very gracious and put up with me. And I had a very good church where I was grounded in, you know, just the really foundations of the gospel and what it means to love the Lord and to live for him. So a very good church there. And then when I went to university, had a very good church there. And, you know, God has been with me in every stage, but it is a real blessing. I've worked most of my life in the education sector, and through that time, you know, had loads of opportunities for the Lord, and got quite involved in youth work and things. But it's been a real blessing as well to begin to work in a ministry setting where, you know, my background obviously was working through the day and then sort of serving the Lord outside of that time. And it's been a real blessing to be able to be in a ministry situation where you're dealing with practical needs, and then you're saying to somebody, what can I pray for you? And having those both all at one has been a blessing. Different challenges and different blessings, but
I mean, it's
yeah,
just
God is in it.
It's just so nice listening to obviously how you came into Christianity. So it's now God's touched you. So I mean, it's people have some amazing things, don't they? And some it's just like myself, nothing special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did obviously accept the Lord in my life, and but like you say, nothing fireworks going off and that. But again, Jesus, he definitely did something in my life as a teenager too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, God is amazing. But have you got a special verse or anything you'd love to encourage us, build us up, or tell us off, or anything?
Sure. Well, when it comes to favorite verses, I'm very fickle because it depends what I've been reading just at that time. You know, I love how God's word is just right where you need. God meets us where we need him, doesn't he? And his word just speaks right into every situation. So I keep changing my favorites, but the one that I thought I would share today is from Hebrews chapter 12, and it's one that's very precious to me. And it talks about, let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us. And we do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. So I just love that that's what we're called to do. God is asking us each to run the race that he has laid out for us. We're not called to run anybody else's race. We're not called to run a race of our own devising. We're called to run the race that God has laid out for us. And he gives us grace to run that race. He doesn't give us grace to run anything different. So I just think it's very precious how God leads and guides us and is with us in every stage of our lives and calls us to run the race that he lays out for us. But the next bit is just the answer to it. Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. And I think as Christians, you know, sometimes we can mistakenly think it's about us or what we do or what we're going to do. And it's really not. It's all about our Savior. You know, everything is done in his strength and to his glory. And he's the one who's with us. He's the one who gives us grace for each day. So eyes on him and running the race that he lays out for us is one of the verses that's very, very precious to me. And even, Jason, if I'm on one of those park runs and somebody like you runs past me, I'm always comforted to know I just have to run my race that God has laid out for me, not the fast one that you're running or or something else. But I think often just knowing that God has our race laid out for us is very precious.
Brilliant, yeah. And what I love with that verse is, like you said there, is fixing our eyes on Jesus. You know what I mean? And it's when we do run, we're watching out, we're everywhere, obviously, to make sure we don't fall over, we don't stumble, we don't run into a lamppost or something daft. But you know, on the spiritual side, we have
I've done that.
I have. Just after Christmas, I'd been on a run, cross country, tree routes, everything you can imagine, mud, I was slipping, sliding. I got on a bit of tarmac about 100 meters from home, straight down on my ribs. I think I cracked some of my ribs. I've just recovered now. It's not hurting at all now. But yeah, but spiritually, we have to fix our eyes on Jesus, don't we? You know what I mean? And everything tries to come in. And but I think if we focus and we trust, especially this time now with COVID and everything that's happened, we have to fix and trust in Jesus. He's the answer. He's the way. But yeah, it's been absolutely
the only certainty that we have.
Talking to you. Is there anything else you want to say before we run out of time?
No, I'm very happy with the chat that we've had, but I do appreciate I appreciate the invitation and being part of this, and I appreciate everything that Christian Runners is trying to do. Actually, it's been lovely to be able to go to events, wear the t-shirts. You know, at times the three of us have been at events all wearing the t-shirts, and it just does mean you feel you have an opportunity for people to ask you the reason for the hope that's within you, and it's been lovely to be part of it.
And it's just so easy to wear. I mean, I always say to people, you don't have to have a t-shirt, you don't have to have anything, but it is just it's an icebreaker. It's something that people can see and people can talk or chat, or a lot of people I find they'll Google it, they'll look it up afterwards on the internet and think, what is this Christian Runners? And a lot of people got,
who are they? Yeah,
he looks a crazy man. What's he doing? You know what I mean? But no, I will put a link so everybody can look at what Caring for Life is all about. And it's been a privilege. It really has, Gayle, because like I've said earlier, we're not all fast runners. Some are a little bit steadier. Some enjoy the scenery a little bit more. And we're going to, over this next few weeks, months, I've got a lineup of loads of different runners from all over the UK. So everyone's got a different story. So it's, I mean, I look forward to everyone. But Gayle, thank you from a big Yorkshireman and from a lovely Northern Irish lady who can't even do an Irish accent, but
that was a very bad one.
I just hope people can understand me, because I have to be careful what I say, because if I really go into Yorkshire, you won't have a clue what I say.
We're all sunk.
And I actually
we'll need to give subtitles at the bottom.
I was on the TV. I did a TV show about 8 years ago, and I had to be really careful what I said. But when I look back on the footage, oh no, you can't get away from your Yorkshire accent. No,
but you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to.
Well, God bless. Thank you. I hope everything goes well with your running, with Caring for Life, with everything to do with you. Thank you again, and God bless.
Much appreciated. Thanks, Jason.